Hi, my name is Juno, Creative Director of Larobic Lydia. So I've made a tutorial on how to sew this twist neckline. Okay, it's just a simple twist neckline with a flutter sleeve, but I didn't do the illustration of the sleeve, it's just the twisted neckline. So I decided to tuck it in, so it's a free dress. You can decide to make it fitted depending on what you want. Okay, so this is it, and you'll be seeing the tutorial shortly. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment in the description box. Thank you. So guys, welcome once again. Now we'll go straight to the tutorial, right? So what you are seeing right now is the back and the front bodies. Remember, if you're not new to my channel, you should know that I have a tutorial on how to draft the basic bodies. Okay, so this is your normal neckline for the front and the back. But what I'll be doing now is coming in on the neckline for the back, 1 inch, right? And then I added the seam allowance. So on the back width is 4, and then the depth is 3. Okay, so that's the back, because there's no zipper, so I wanted the neck a bit lower so it can go through my head. So right, and then the front also, you do the same, add your seam allowance. Okay, so this is just the normal basic bodies. Okay, so now what I did now, I came down from my neckline. Now I came down 4.5 inch to get a V. Okay, so you can come down lower if you want it, but be careful not to reveal your cleavage. Okay, so I used my curve and I connected. So what I'm doing, I added the seam allowance. Please, it's very important because you might forget while cutting the fabric. So I added the seam allowance from the neckline down to my V. So now on my armhole, I came down 4.5 also. Okay, that's my armhole from my shoulder tip, 4.5. Okay, so I'll be cutting that part. As you see that part, from the V center front to the side, so that will be the yoke. Okay, so that will be the yoke for this dress. So be sure to label the V neck, that's the neckline, and then the armhole, so you won't get confused, because we'll be slashing the front. Okay, will be slashing. If you don't label, you might be confused. So now what I'm doing is I'm drawing my slash lines. Now from that center point, that is from where my V neck started from, so I'll be drawing 3 slash lines. So I'll be spreading that part, and that is why I'm drawing the slash line. So I'm sorry it's not very clear. I did this at night and I'm really sorry. Okay, so just manage with me. Okay, so that's my slash line. Now what I'm doing, I'm slashing it, I'm cutting it wide open, I'm cutting it open. So 3 line, manage to draw the 3 slash line from that your V neckline, because from that your center front part. So that's where I drew that the 3 slash line, and then I'll spread. Okay, so now I'll be spreading with 1.5. Okay, so you can do more, it's up to you what you want. Okay, so just be careful. Remember, we start spreading from our center, from that V point, very important. So I'll be spreading, that is the part we cut from the center front to our armhole. So that's the part I'm spreading from the center front. So that's where your slash, that the part you slash is where you'll be spreading. So you spread with 1.5 inch, or as desired, like I said earlier. So be sure to tape it down. Get a masking tape to tape it down, or you get a pin. Okay, so it can be flat on the surface. Okay, you need it very flat. So just open up and pin down and tape it down, so everything will be neatly done. So after which you can now trace out. Okay, so be careful to be sure you spread evenly. You don't do 1 inch and then 2 inch or 1.5, so make sure everything is 1.5 inches. Okay, so now we're drawing a straight line just to connect, just to get a straight line. So now our V, the center front, is now wide. Remember, this is the center front. Okay, it is now wide. It's no longer that tiny V part anymore. So the V is still along the other side. So now what I'm doing now, I'm adding a seam allowance of 0.5. Okay, you find out later, it's still our center front, you will still cut it on fold, but you add 0.5. So when that 0.5 you're adding, by the time you place on your fabric, it will become 1 inch on the other part. So we just need that part. Okay, because we'll be twisting it, so we just need a little bit of excess around there. Okay, so don't worry, it's not going to affect anything. Okay, so now after doing that, just use your ruler to connect your lines together. So my yoke now, that's my yoke part. I'm adding my seam allowance. So add your seam allowance everywhere. Okay, so I added around the center front and the yoke part because on the center front, my V part, I already added my seam allowance earlier on. Okay, so now this is the down part of the body. We've taken out the yoke, we are done with the yoke, and then this is the down part. So now this bodice has a bust dart. Now I could have used a normal bodice without a bust. I would have just drafted my freehand, but I wanted those that may not be used to freehand and use this pattern alone to be able to use their bodies to create this style. It's a free dress, so we are not sewing the dart. So I eliminated the dart already. I didn't add the dart to the measurement, but the bust dart is still there. So if you don't close the bust dart, the front will be longer. So what I'm doing, I'm cutting out the dart, so you can as well fold. Okay, you can fold, but because I'm doing a slash there, so that's why I'm cutting out the that part that will be open at the center front. It will become a slash. I'll slash it open, so that's why. So you can fold your bust dart and tape it down and then slash, but because I'm slashing, I'll be slashing at the end of the day. So that's why I decided to slash my bust dart out. So if you notice, after taping it down, you can see this opening in front. Yes, that's because I closed my bust dart. I cut it. If I had folded it, there won't have been any opening. So I'm just continuing that part, drawing another slash line from there. Okay, so now you're drawing a slash line here also from your center front, not the side. So that's the center front you are seeing. So I also drew 3 slash lines, including, so my bust that part that I cut, everything is going to go inside. So that's why you need to cut it out so you won't have issues. So you can see now I'm also spreading. So after, please be careful, remember not to cut through. You have to end around the end. So you cut to the point, to an end point, not, you're not cutting through. Okay, so then you also spread by 1.5 or whatever you use for the up part, the yoke part. That is what you also use here. Okay, so just spread as you desire and then connect again, because it's still our center front, so we need that part to be straight. So because we'll be cutting on fold, there won't be a slash. We're not slashing the center front open, the center front is covered. Okay, so now what I did, now I connected up, down, connected back, and then I needed that part to be straight. Okay, so I just did 1 inch. I just added 1 inch to make it straight. It's not straight, right? It's not straight per se. So I needed it to be straight. You can still do without it, but it's necessary. Just add 1 inch, okay? And then you add your seam allowance to the up part that will be joined to the yoke. No, we'll join that part to the yoke, okay? So after doing that, just cut out. Okay, so guys, this is it. So this is a yoke and this is the body. You can see the slash lines and everything. Okay, so now what I'm doing now is just to slant the side. You know that shape, that blousey shape you need on your dress, on your blouse. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. You come up on your side, front, side, back and front. Do the same to the back and front, 1 inch, and then connect, and then you have your shapey blouse. Okay, so now I went ahead to cut on my fabric. Okay, so I've cut see the center part. Now what it means, now our v-neck has been altered, so it's now looking like U because of the center front we shaped. Okay, it's no more looking like V because we spread and opened the center front. Okay, so that's why it's looking like this, but our v-neck is still there, but it's no longer looking V because we slash and open the center front. Okay, so this is, I also cut the down part. So you have your yoke ready and you have your main bodice ready. Okay, so I'm notching the down part. Okay, the down part where we join together with the body, so you won't be confused as to which part between the neckline and the down part. Okay, so this is it, guys. This is it. Okay, so now what I'll be doing now is you take off your pins. Okay, take off your pins, and for the back, the bottom part and the up part. So you take off your pin. Now you notice the center part, that part we added, we extended 1 inch and then we'll connect back. Okay, so now I'm measuring 3.5 inches there, so you can see my chalk line there. So I'll slash that part open. That is why we added an 1 inch allowance then. Okay, so slash, and then you stop before the chalk. Okay, you stop before the chalk. You stop before the chalk. So now what you do now is you sew, and then leaving you sew 3 inch, you slash 3.5, you sew 3 inch, you leave out, you'll be left with 0.5 inch. Okay, so that 0.5 will be like a tiny hole, an eyelet, like a tiny hole. So you need that part to be able to fit through the yoke. Okay, you know it's a twist, so you just need a hole where we'll be able to twist it. Okay, so I've taken out the the paper on my upper on the yoke part. So now what you need to do for this is, now whatever you want to do, you can see our neckline is now altered, it's no more looking like that V. Okay, so now you need to cut a facing or use a bias. So but what I'm doing, what I did here, I didn't cut a facing, I used the fabric to cut the yoke. Like I cut the yoke twice and then I used it to turn it. Okay, so it just gives you a neat finish. So and then you turn it and then you just join the bottom part together. So now having done that, now you need to attach your yoke to the shoulder of your yoke to the back shoulder. Now join one shoulder together. Okay, so you need to join one shoulder together, you don't join the two first. Okay, so now this is my yoke. Now this is after sewing. So this is after sewing. Let me not be faster than the video. So after sewing, now what you need to do now is to join the yoke together. So this is me arranging my fabric. Okay, so I joined one shoulder together. So like the yoke part, I've not joined the bottom part, I joined the yoke part to the back. Okay, that's one shoulder front and one shoulder back, so I'm left with one shoulder. Okay, so this is it, guys. You can see this is just it. So now I'll just grab my bottom part, the down part, and I've gone ahead to sew that part, the 3 inches that I showed you, and like you can see the hole there. Okay, so now please, I need you to pay attention to this part because this is where the twist is going to come in from. Okay, so now I folded that part in. You can see I folded it in the center front in, and then placing, ensuring that my finger comes out. So now I'll feed the other part of my shoulder. I'm going to pass my shoulder, the other part of my yoke shoulder. Okay, the one that is left. No, I joined one to the back, I didn't join the other, so I'll feed it through that hole from the front, not the back. Now I'm passing it from the front. Okay, please guys, I need you to get this part. It's a bit technical. I'm sorry about the color of the fabric, so it's not doing so well, or maybe because I did the video at night. So I just need to pay attention. So you feed it through, you pass it through the front, and then you pull it out. Okay, you pull it out. Just be careful. Notch. Remember when I notch my center front. Okay, the bottom part, or that's my center part. So I'll make sure that after, when I feed it through, I'm pulling, I will end on my center part. So that's why you need to notch. Okay, so you don't over drag it and then it becomes, you have it full on one side and the other. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So now after passing it through, after pulling it, so you have your shoulder. Now you have your shoulder back to it, so it's like it's already looking twisted. So now what you need to do now is first to join your shoulders. Now you can now join the shoulder together. Okay, so use your pin to hold down. I use my pin to hold down so I can just show you how it looks like. So now this is it. Now guys, you can see how it is. Okay, so now I'm flipping the down part over now after doing the twist. So now I need to join the sides, like the yoke and the bottom part together. Okay, so I'm joining the side. Now you have to start from the armhole side, like the end. Don't start from the midpoint, because the one will surely be fuller than the other. Like the down part may even be longer than the other. Okay, but don't worry, just go ahead and start sewing from your side, and then sew through, and then end as much as possible. End at the twist, the end. If you can't get it, you can use your needle and thread to finish your sewing. Okay, you end before the twist. So now what I'm doing, I'm dragging it, and it's not yet at the middle, so I'm just trying to pull to make sure it's at the middle. So you just grab the up and the down part together, and then sew. You just sew it. It's simple. Just grab it. So you may have a little excess, but don't worry, just try and sew. Make sure you end around the where the hole is. Once you end there, whatever excess that is left will just be there. It won't show on your other side. Okay, so you continue. After ending on this part, you pick your other side. The other side, you start sewing from the armhole side, and then you sew towards the middle. So for both sides, you start from the armhole, from the side. or armhole, you sew towards the middle. Guys, that is how it is. So you just end before the hole, that tiny hole that we made, okay, that little hole. So just sew, or whatever excess you have, just leave it there, don't worry. So long as you sew, if you can't sew through, just use your needle and try to complete it. And guys, this is it. Simple, right? Just sew and you have your twist already. So what you need to do is to sew your sides, and tada, we are done. Simple, straightforward. Hey, did I tell you to subscribe and like this video? Please leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel if you got any value, and leave us a comment.